Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel, I'm ForClassic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have in here, it is Halo Combat Evolved, the Anniversary Edition. So this is pretty much a remaster of the first Combat Evolved. It was released at that time, the original, at the 2000s. I don't clearly remember which year it was, but it was a great release for PC gaming. But suddenly after the release of the Xbox, I guess PC only received Halo 2 and we never received any Halo back again. Yeah, that was disappointing for the fans. Although, right now, Microsoft's commitment to the PC have changed, and now we are receiving all the Halos at the PC. And we have in here the Combat Evolved, which is a remaster of the first game, and as you can see, I'm going to run this game at 720p with the original settings in order to try to max out as much frame rate as possible above 60 frames per second. Although, let's take a look on the requirements. So these guys ask for an Intel i3 550. They don't specify which RAM do you need, but they say that you need a GTS 450, and in that regard, I think the MX130 or the GT940MX, which is essentially the same cards, are up to the task. And so I decided to test the game with 720p, the original settings, and I got the same average as the game maxed out, although the game on Enhanced suffers from some problems according to Digital Foundry, but I also have noticed those issues on my desktop, which I will talk about later. If you go to 900p using the original settings, what you get is an average of 52 frames per second with a 1% low of 37. It is pretty playable. You can expect an experience between 40 to 60 frames per second, and if you decide to use 1080p with the original settings, most of the experience it was pretty much between 30 to 45 frames per second. So you will decide what is best for you, but for me, since this is a first-person shooter and this is a laptop with a 15-inch screen, I feel fine playing at 720p. And yes, I can clearly say that the resolutions make a huge difference on the visuals between 720p to 1080p, but still 720p for me at the 15-inch screen, it is completely fine, and I do play like this and enjoy 60 frames per second most of the time than not having that, alright? Or in the worst case scenario, I would go to 900p, but this is my personal preference. You might have a different preference, you might prefer resolution over the frame rate, but this is why you have a PC. You have the power of choice and to choose whatever you want. Alright, so I think that's all that I want to talk about the performance, but let's now talk about what is wrong with the enhanced settings. The enhanced settings boosts a little bit the shadow quality of the game, not really by much, and also the draw distance of the grass, but apart from that, it is really just that. That is slightly better texture quality, I believe, but it's really just some small improvements. But unfortunately, the enhanced settings broke a little bit the screen space ambient occlusion. You start to notice that some objects have some different shadows in it, which is a little bit weird. It seems that something is really off with the game, and this is the issue with the screen space ambient occlusion. It might not be a very pronounced problem, but you will notice that something is wrong with some self-shadowings of the grass, of the characters. And so I think that the original settings still looks pretty good. I mean, it is not really a downgrade or a big downgrade from the enhanced settings, and you don't have any of those issues, alright? So, and that's all. Guys, hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video. Thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Oh, and by the way, I didn't talk about the RAM. I should recommend you to have 8GB of RAM to play up this game. This is my personal recommendation. Alright, I have 32GB of RAM in here, but the game only uses around 7, so probably 8GB of RAM should be the recommended for this game. Alright? Guys, thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
The Covenant are putting up a real fight. The cartographer must be here. My analysis indicates that the map room should be at the bottom floor of this facility. Let's keep going inside. Don't let them lock the door. I underestimated the Covenant's understanding of Halo subsystems. They blocked the door, and we don't have enough firepower to get through.
Cortana to Keys.
Go ahead, Cortana. Have you found the control center?
Negative, Captain. The Covenant have impeded our progress. We can't proceed unless we can disable this installation's security system.
Understood. We're still en route to the objective. I may be out of contact when we get there. Here are your orders. I want you to use any means necessary to force your way into the facility and find Halo's control center. We have to get to the center before the Covenant. Failure is not an option.
Echo 419 to ground team. I'll stay on station and keep an eye out for Covenant folks.
Second squad, ready to roll as soon as everybody's topside. LZ looks secure, sir. Nothing moving. Good luck, people. Keys out.
It looks like there is a path into the interior of the island. We need to find the security override to get this door open. Use the holo panel to shut down the security system. Good. That should open the door that leads into the main shaft.